Boom, boom. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Okay. That is our, copyright-free intro to this episode.
Well, we hope so. Okay. Hey, hello, everyone. Wow, what the last 4 days we have. So we are, we're back home in Philadelphia, but we'll tell you what went on these last 4 days. So Sunday again, Virtuous Con. If you're able to attend, wonderful. We had a great time doing that podcast. It was wonderful. So just want to thank again Cerise Murphy, who is the founder of Virtuous Con, and Kara Mahorn, who introduced us to the con. So we had a wonderful time. All right. Monday, we had a virtual roundtable. And this was some roundtable. Okay. So we had Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Rick Famuyiwa, Katie Sackhoff. What do you think of that? That was amazing. Yeah. So we were
if you didn't get a chance to check that out, please do. We asked some bomb questions.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. So we didn't introduce ourselves. This is I'm Kerwin. This is Keith. We're a Father Son Galaxy. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you come back. Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. So you won't be disappointed if you subscribe. So so that was Monday. So we had this virtual, like you said, roundtable. We had a great group of podcasters there. I want to shout out their names: Sky Talkers with Charlotte and Caitlin, Fangirls Going Rogue with Sarah, Full of Sith with Brian, Richard from Skywalking Through Neverland, Dan Zier, Coffee with Kenobi. It was wonderful. So we really had a great time. And Tuesday, just yesterday, all right, you and I took a trip to LA.
Flew in that morning, flew out that day.
Yeah.
The following day.
Yeah.
So, would you believe it? It was a 6-hour flight almost. Yeah. So me and Dad, we flew in at like 11. That's what our flight to Philadelphia. So we got to the airport and the flight took off at 11, and we landed at what was it, like 2:00?
Yeah, 2:00 Pacific time. Yeah.
So called an Uber, got to our hotel. We stayed at the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel. Yeah. Complimentary, in-room dining. Good burgers, in-room dining.
That was the part you enjoyed the most, right? Yes. The room service.
The sorbet, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we were there.
People were very nice.
Yeah, they were very nice. They were that was your first time going to LA, right? I don't think you've been there before, but so we were right across the street from the El Capitan Theater. That's where the movie The Mandalorian was taking place, and we went in there. And it was packed. It was a lot of people. We had lines to wait on, the will call line, and we waited there.
Yeah, it wrapped around. And we saw some people there.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Saw Christian Harloff in line.
Yeah, how about that? Christian Harloff. I actually got a chance to talk to him briefly after the episodes and talk to him about it. But yes, so we were fortunate enough, thanks to Disney Lucasfilm. Thank you so much for inviting us. We attended the live event, and we saw the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian season 3, right? Mm-hmm. So
just a few hours before, like 1 hour. Actually, because didn't the premiere end at like 11?
I don't know about that time. Yeah, 11. No, I think it was 9:00. It wasn't 11 p.m. Oh, because we were back
at the hotel at 11. Yeah.
Well, right,
so
we were back.
Ended at like 9ish, I think.
Yeah, right. It started. Well, it's supposed to start at 6:30. I actually don't even know when it started.
Me neither. I lost complete track of time.
Yeah, there were delays there, but we did get to see they had a model of the N1 Starfighter on the stage, right? and we were allowed to take pictures with the starfighter. That was pretty cool. Just ran into actually some of the podcasters that were a part of the round table the day before were actually there in person. We met them for the very first time. You know, Sky Talker and Brian and Rick and Sarah. They were there, and what was nice, we were all sitting in the same row. You know,
so they put everyone from the round table in the same row.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So got to meet them in person. You know, unfortunately, we couldn't hang around for too long. I know Charlotte and Caitlin, we were hoping to get a picture with them, but that didn't happen. And Gustavo from Triad of the Force was also there as well. So met him for the first time. That was pretty cool. So, and then, yes, we saw 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. We can only talk about episode 1 because episode 2 will drop next week. Legally, right. Yeah. All right. So
legally, if we mention a word of episode 2, we're done.
Okay. And
we're
then
through.
Yes.
No soup for us. Next.
Right. We don't want to talk about episode 2 right now. So let's and so like I said, it was crowded. It was even in the lobby after they showed the 2 episodes and it was all over and people were going down, we were in the balcony. People were going down the stairs and they were heading out the door. Some of them were hanging around in the lobby area. So, we saw some familiar people and we actually ran into Doug Chang.
Yes.
Right? Production designer.
Got a photo with him.
Yeah, pretty cool. Got a selfie with Doug Chang.
And I freaked out.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So
I'm quite good at keeping my emotions contained.
Yes, you did.
For the time being.
You did. We did. We saw Clayton Sandell from Newsy was there as well.
And I bumped into Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I wanted to tell that story, but you did. It was so funny that you were not facing him. He was standing behind you. And he just walked right past you so quickly. I think he was heading to someplace. So I didn't want to stop him and say hello or anything like that, but he was inches behind you and you did not know he was behind you. And by the time I could get the words out, he was gone. It's like, Jon Favreau was just right behind you. It was just amazing, So, so that was pretty cool. And we met Matt Machinovich, who was the story editor for The Bad Batch. That was pretty cool. And like you said, we talked to Christian Harloff, talked to him, told him I was a big fan of his podcast and introduced ourselves. So it was a fun time. And then we took a flight back the next morning, Wednesday morning.
Because my father's insane, right?
Don't go into it.
He's insane.
Yes.
And he woke us up at 2:00 and set 3 different alarms. So I set the television. My father called the downstairs hotel and he's like, get us a 2:00 wake up call. And then he put a 2:00 timer on his phone.
Yes, so I wanted to make sure I didn't want us to miss our flight. So
and kicked me out of bed at 2:00 and he's like, time to go.
Well, yeah, we had an early flight. So
funny story. We got to the airport. It's 4:03 because our Uber picked us up at 3:30. It's because of my mom that I still have my phone with me. Because I left my phone at the hotel. And security picked it up. And you know what else I left there? My Mandalorian t-shirt.
Yeah, we left a few things behind.
Yeah.
And then when
socks.
Yeah, we were heading to
I don't know why.
We were at the airport. So we got an Uber to pick us up and take us to the airport. And then I was reading a text from Tanya. And she says, make sure that we get that picture of Doug Chang. But it was on your phone. And I said, well, wait a minute. I don't even know if Keith has his phone. So, when we got to the airport, I asked you, well, do you have your phone? And you said, don't you? And then we both realized we must have left it back at the hotel. So luckily,
my favorite shark.
Yeah, luckily the Uber driver was still there. At the curb, and he said, well, do you mind if we go back and pick up the go back and pick up the phone and bring us back? And he did. So the phone was still there. Security got the phone, and everything is happy ever after.
Asked me to open it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we got the phone, and now we're back. So we're back, and we want to be back because
and baggage claim was insane. I'm going to tell a quick story. So we could not find our bag because they were unloading 2 LA flights at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And to this day, we still have not found that bag.
That's not true. Yeah, you keep telling this story, and it's not even a true story. The bags are fine, like
That's a joke.
the luggage claim, they share different, different claim areas with different flights, so we were fine. That's cool. Everything's good. So we're back, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about episode 1, all right, called The Apostate, directed by Rick Famuyiwa, all right?
Yes.
This is pretty cool. This was a very, look, the Mandalorian, we know, is a phenomenon. It's huge. It seems that everyone is on board with this series. People who are diehard fans to people who have seen Star Wars for the first time. This is probably how they're being introduced to Star Wars through the Mandalorian. So, seeing it on the big screen when we were there in LA, it really looked like a movie. You know what I mean? I mean, the sound was fantastic, and the picture quality, the
screaming in the audience made.
Yeah, I mean, people were it's so hype, and
everyone lost their minds.
Yeah, it was wonderful. That's what movies are supposed to feel like. When people are into the story and into it, and yeah. So quite a few interesting things that I've never seen before. With the Mandalorian. With the Mandalorian, their codes and rituals that they do. So apparently we were seeing one where a young boy was actually becoming a full-fledged Mandalorian, I guess, right? So it was the armorer who, she was in her shop and she created this helmet to give to the boy. And he was now going to become officially a Mandalorian, and he had to have this creed that he can never take off the helmet, and then all of a sudden we get this creature that comes out of the water, which was pretty awesome. Reminded me of the crate dragon. Space
crocodile.
Yeah, space crocodile. Yeah, but yeah, it just reminded me of the crate dragon from season 2. But it looked wonderful. It looked fantastic. Of course, Mando and Grogu saves the day, and
just gotta swoop in.
Yeah, they took down that creature, and then what does the armor do? Does she say thank you, Din?
No.
Does she say thank you for saving the lives?
Like literally, the armorer was struggling out there. She was struggling to keep up with this.
She was barely
this space crocodile.
All right. Did she say thank you for saving my life, Din? Thank you for saving the lives of our
or at least make him a cup of spotchka and be like, thanks, Din.
But you know what she said? She said, I ain't forget about you. I know you still took your helmet off. I ain't gonna forget about that. You still need to atone for what you've done.
See, I bet Mando was just like, I could have been sipping broth with Grogu.
Yeah. Right. He didn't have to be there,
See, First of all, the timing is excellent, but I bet Mando was just like, why did I come here?
Yeah. I mean, why bother saving these people?
Imagine if you're traveling outside with me on an airplane, and then all of a sudden you just have to swoop in and save a bunch of people who were just completely rude to you like a few weeks before.
Yeah.
And then you go back and they're like, I didn't forget about the helmet.
Right. Yeah.
After you saved their lives.
Yeah.
Again, the armorer was struggling to keep up, mind you.
Yeah. So you think that kind act would have made everything better, right? So we could forget about him going to Mandalore and dipping his toes in the water.
And he saved multiple children.
Yeah, but she said no, that's not the way. You have to go to the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. So Din agrees that's what he's going to do. Okay. Something else that we saw that was very interesting: the Purgo.
Oh yes.
Yeah. How about that? So what's interesting about this is, if you don't know what the Purgles are, there's these space whales.
They're the Purgle are like imagine a beluga whale and an octopus hybrid.
Yeah, that's right. Because
they got a bunch of tentacles.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're like whales.
Yes.
And they could also fly through hyperspace.
Yes. Right. And why the Purgle are so important?
Ezra.
Yes, Ezra Bridger, right? So if you are a fan of Rebels, or if you don't know the story about Ezra Bridger, the last time we saw Ezra and Grand Admiral Thrawn is that they were taken away by one of these Purgles, and no one and taken into hyperspace. No one knows where they are, right?
And they haven't really found him yet,
right?
Because that was 1 BBY.
Was it that close to Yavin? I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Maybe 2, maybe 1.
Okay, but that is a little clue as to what we'll see in Ahsoka, right? Because
Secondly, Ahsoka was in the last season of Mandalorian. She was in season 3, which makes me think: we get a little tease of the Ahsoka show coming up.
Well, I think seeing the Purgo was a good part of it, right? So I think what they're doing is leaving some subtle
Easter
clues.
Eggs.
Yes, Easter eggs and some clues as to what we could see coming up in the Ahsoka series. I'm still thinking we may get a cameo of Sabine. That would be cool, right?
They already cast Sabine. So
yes, already cast, and Ahsoka is already shot. It's ready to go. I'm sure. I don't know if it's still in post production, but that supposedly the series is going to be dropping sometime this year. So we're looking out for the Ahsoka series. All right.
We'll review it, obviously.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. So my point is, the Purgle, we saw them in animation, and to me, it took a little bit for me to really comprehend. Okay, these space whales. Okay, I just don't see it happening. But I was wondering like how they're going to pull that off in live action. They've already done it, and it looks stunning. I thought it looked very beautiful how Din and Grogu are going through hyperspace, and these Purgles are Grogu could see the Purgles like traveling right alongside them in hyperspace.
Yeah, they're like
fantastic,
trailing the ship.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Q&A. All right, Alex.
Do you think we'll see Alex? Sabine and Ahsoka in the same episode? I say yes.
Yes,
because they started working together to find Ezra right after his disappearance. Also, you know what? Thrawn is a good villain. Firstly, like
he is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they got to bring him back. Like they can't get rid of Thrawn that quick.
No, I think he will be. I know we had this conversation before. I think he will be a villain. I don't know if he would be the villain. I think it might be somebody bigger than him.
But maybe to see him rejoin the First Order. Before we get rid of this man so quickly.
Right. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. Oh yeah, I will definitely see Sabine and Ahsoka in the same episode. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So look forward to that.
If they appear.
And I still think, it's going to happen in one of these episodes of The Mandalorian. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, we have a poll about that. Do you think we'll see Sabine and Ahsoka in The Mandalorian? So check our community posts for frequent updates.
Yes. Now, of course, leave your comments and questions. We are talking about episode 1 of The Mandalorian. So shout us out, let's talk. Let's keep going. All right. So now, Din and Grogu pay a visit to Greef Karga on the planet Navarro. And Greef is he looks like royalty. I mean, he's dressed in
this droids carrying his cape.
It was pretty funny. I mean, and they're like on wheels, because they have to keep moving along with the cape. Does he wear that cape all day long, or only when he's outside?
Imagine if he had to take a nap in that cape.
and the droids would just
just sleep on those droids.
Yeah, the droids would just wait at the foot of the bed.
He just have like droids right under his knees.
There you go.
And that would be
right.
Ridiculous.
As soon as he puts that robe on, he's out the door and they're traveling behind him. Yeah.
Imagine how rich you have to be to have personal robots that carry your cloak.
Yes.
Carry your cloak.
Yeah. So he's got a title. He is the High Magistrate. They keep calling
everyone keeps calling him Magistrate, but he's the High Magistrate.
And one thing I forgot to mention about this episode overall, it was very funny.
Yes.
I was not expecting it to be funny.
But they balanced the comedy out with serious.
Exactly. They sure did. I think it was a great balance between action and comedy and drama.
And what we have to see, because Mandalorian usually isn't this funny.
Yeah, this was a funny episode. I mean, I've seen it 3 times now. It's still funny. And and Greef, Carl Weathers, the great Carl Weathers, and Dinjar and Pedro, they have a chemistry. They're like a buddy cop, one step away from a buddy cop movie. I just want to see the two of them just fighting crime together. I think they're fantastic. They do.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, they do a really.
That'd be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, it could be a Disney Plus show, right?
Din and Greef, or wait, Den of Grief.
Den of Grief.
Like Den of Grief, but spelled completely wrong.
I get it. So we know what happened to Cara Dune, so that was something that needed to be addressed.
Apparently, she's been recruited by Special Forces.
Yes, that's right. She's been recruited by Special Forces.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Moff Gideon, apparently he's
in a New Republic War Tribunal.
Right, so he's being tried for his crimes.
He won't be back, which annoys me.
Well, I think he will be back. I'm not sure how, but we will see, or when. But
I think a time frame for this.
We'll see Gideon. I don't,
or at least a cameo. But it's got to be more than that.
I'm thinking
because Moff Gideon is the main villain of the Mandalorian.
He is, but
for the first 2
speaking of villains, that's a good point that you brought that up. We have these pirates, and I don't know how much role that they're going to have during the season, but now we have these pirates.
But I feel like that's kind of a step down from Moff Gideon. It's like you have this grand man. Mm-hmm. He's like, you have something I want, and then you have these unseemly pirates and spaceships.
That's a good point, right?
Where Moff Gideon has swagger, these pirates have style points for flying directly into asteroids and blowing up.
Yeah, I think maybe they were just a one and done, maybe, But it was actually a pretty good scene, with the standoff. I love a standoff, it's like any Western. But it was very good. It was very well done. So let's move on to IG-11. Let's talk about IG-11.
Yes. So there's a statue of him in the town center of Navarro, and Mando wants to revive him because he needs a droid. But IG-11 defaults to his old programming and starts trying to grab Grogu. So Mando had to immediately shoot him down afterwards, which was kind of a surprise, actually.
Yes.
The problem is they can't fix him. So he takes him to Babu Frick's extended family, and they can't fix him because they need a memory circuit. Mm-hmm. So if Mando can get the memory circuit, they can fix it.
Yeah. Let me take a step back. So when Din visits Grief, so Grief is actually trying to offer him a job, right? Yeah. He wants Din to become the new marshal of the town. Mm-hmm. And the town, let's talk about the town. The town is bumping. I mean, it is
Navarro kind of stepped up.
Yeah.
Did you remember in season 2, didn't somebody try to steal his ship?
I don't remember what happened in season 2.
Me neither. That was 3 years ago, Dad.
Okay. But the village is bustling. There's the marketplace is going on. People are buying and selling. Kids are running down running throughout the town. They have this folk band playing music, which is pretty cool. Things seem to be going okay, and the economy is doing well. Yeah. People are making money.
And then some pirates kind of show up.
Well, right.
Can I get to the pirate duel real quick?
Yeah, okay, talk about the pirates.
So the ironic part of this is, the place where Grief Karga placed a school used to be like a cantina.
Yeah.
So they want to go to the cantina. These pirates, they're being very petty, and they're like, give me a drink here. And Grief's like, we can go to my office. And they're like, give me a drink here. So, Mando and Grief just kind of dispatch them. But I'm like, wait, you gonna leave them there? Outside of the school?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, because
so these kids can just step outside with their backpacks and then go, ah!
That's a good point. I didn't think about that because they're right. The showdown was right in front of a school. And all of a sudden you hear pow, 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 pew, 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 pew.
Just imagine these children. Imagine these children on their data pads when they shouldn't be. And then they just look outside, and then they come outside at the end of the school day, and it's like,
yeah. Well, I was trying to make sure they got rid of those bodies pretty quickly. All right, Q&A.
All right, Q&A.
All right, let's go to Q&A.
Maybe Moff Gideon will secretly hire the pirates to go after Din. I could see that happening, especially if Moff Gideon is acquitted or escapes.
I do believe that something like that could happen where he either escapes or
I want him to, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't see Moff Gideon in this episode, I kind of wish we did, or at least some sort of cameo of him in prison.
I get the impression that Gideon is not someone who spends a lot of time working with pirates. I think he would think that pirates with the pirates. No,
not with the pirates, but with some other force.
Okay, well, right. So apparently there is a threat. We'll hear about this threat because we saw it in the trailer. But I don't see Moff having any kind of dealings with,
Yeah,
with
I don't know.
pirates. I
I
think
feel like Moff Gideon would be
I
against
get,
pirates.
yeah, I think that Moff would think pirates are beneath him. Like I don't deal with pirates. Those are low lives.
This is a man who used to own the dark saber.
Oh, this is Giancarlo Esposito. He ain't gonna deal with pirates. Come
on. All right.
Okay. All right. So we were talking about IG-11, and you. All right. So let's talk about the history of IG-11. If you don't remember, episode 1, IG-11 is a bounty hunter. Right?
Yes, and he was originally tasked with finding and bringing back Grogu, trying to capture him and bring him to the bounty hunting guild.
Yes,
bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then he self-destructs to protect Cara Dune, Grief Karga, the Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Yes, right. So he sacrificed his life. So they created
a I must statue. Not be captured. I must be destroyed.
Right. And they created a statue in his honor.
Kind of turned into dynamite.
Right. And then the reason why Din wants to bring IG-11 back.
He's going spelunking.
Would you have to explain what that means? Okay. So, the reason why he wants to bring IG-11 back is he wants IG-11 to accompany him to Mandalore, because we know Mandalore is completely demolished, right? It's destroyed. Yes. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know what type of chemical warfare
or conditions
that the Empire,
because everyone's dropped on this planet, and poisoned.
Right. So it could potentially be poisonous, for humans at least. So Din wants IG-11 to go with him, check things out, and see if it's safe enough for him to go, so he can, dip into the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. All right. Yes. So he can be atoned for his transgressions.
Basically, he just needs someone to scout for him.
Yes. Right. Yes. Exactly. Just to make sure things are safe. All right. So, but things, like you said, don't go well, because IG-11 still has the old programming. He's still looking for Grogu, so he had to be put down. So now we get to the Anzellans, right?
Yes.
All right, Anzellans. All right. So the Anzellans, Babu Frick, if you've seen The Rise of Skywalker.
I didn't know he was an Anzellans. I didn't know that's what their species was called.
Yeah, that's what they're calling.
You looked them up, didn't you?
Well,
I sense Wikipedia in your browser history.
Well, and then they also, Grief mentioned the name Anzellan. Well, he says, well, ask the Anzellan, because they're the what do you call them, the workshop droid smiths, right? Who could put IG-11 together, and apparently they can't do it.
The irony
is broke. It's broken.
The funny thing is, Mando, with nothing but like a hex wrench and an Allen wrench or whatever this man used, brought IG-11 back to life, and yet a literal team of droid smiths can't fix him because of a memory circuit.
Yeah,
like they couldn't make one.
Right. So so Din doesn't have the parts. So he has to
use something else then.
He'll have to get the parts somewhere else. Okay.
Could they? I feel like a translator droid like C-3PO or something would have similar memory circuits.
Good point.
So why not just use one of those?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wipe the memory off an obsolete droid and give it to IG-11.
Din knows what he's looking for, so I'm sure he knows what parts to get. So, all right, to be continued on that. So we're talking about the Anzellans. They're very funny. Grogu wanted to pick one up and squeeze it. It was like,
and then it's like, no,
not squeeze, right? So bad baby. And then we also saw Kowakian monkeys.
Yeah.
Or lizards,
monkey
right?
Lizards.
Monkey lizards, right? Kowakian monkey lizards, right? Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And they look just as monkeyish as Salacious B. Crumb.
That's right. They look like they could be all related, So okay.
Because they're all like orange and they howl. Yes. All right, next.
All right, so then the last scene is Bo-Katan. We'll talk about Bo-Katan traveling to Kalevala.
Bo-Katan's kind of going through something right now. Like she seems depressed.
Yeah, she is not happy. She does not have the Darksaber, so she can't bring her people together.
It's funny though.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, I feel like if you have a rightful ruler and the person who owns the Darksaber doesn't want it and offers it to you, like take it firstly instead of kind of just moping about it.
Well, you know that she can't do that, right? That's not the way it works, right?
She could. She could physically and mentally do it.
Yeah.
She could walk over, grab the Darksaber, and be like, bye. Because Mando didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah, but what would her people say about it? Because they would expect that she was... Well, will she not tell her people how she got the Darksaber? So you're saying she should just show up with the Darksaber in her hand and then that's it? Yeah. No questions asked?
But like...
yeah. Well, it's not going to be as simple as that. Because the people want to know, well, what did you do? Did you take out Din Djarin? Like what
Mandalorian?
You defeated the Mandalorian? Tell us. Well, that's...
He's like, if the Darksaber is a signal and status of power, are they really gonna look that deep to be like, okay, well, who'd you fight, who'd you defeat, and how'd you defeat him? Like, ask for the play-by-play, or are they just gonna be like, listen, you got the Darksaber, you're the ruler, there's no one here trying to take you down, so like, you must have won.
Well, here's the thing. This is something that, as, someone who is, if you're being a part of a community and you're looking to your leader to be the one to, whatever it is, bring people together, to protect the people, you want to know that this person in leadership can be trusted, right? So the people of Mandalore have a right to know how Bo-Katan got the Darksaber, right? They just like any democracy where people are asking questions to these potential leaders and just asking about their background, asking questions about how you handle this, what would you do with that? So absolutely, one of the questions that the Mandalorians will ask: how did you achieve this Darksaber?
But every planet has different customs now.
Yeah, but that's just not the way of the Mandalorian. You have to achieve it in battle, and you have to show proof that you achieved it in battle.
How though?
Okay,
you gonna take his helmet and be like, yeah, I got his helmet?
Well, I don't understand. Well, we know that Din still has it, right? So why can't the two of them, Bo and Din Djarin, work together?
Yeah, why can't they lead the Mandalore as like a, what's the word for it? A codependency.
Yeah, right. Why couldn't they, be co-leaders, and leading the people of Mandalore? Why does it have to be just the one person?
Bo-Katan wants literally nothing to do with the Mandalorian for some reason.
There you go. That's a good point, right? She doesn't want any help. She thinks, well, not she thinks. I mean, she's been in this position before to lead Mandalore. So she, if you think she deserves it or not, maybe it's unfair that she doesn't have it. Maybe she is the best leader that Mandalore needs right now, but she doesn't have that saber. So she's very upset. She is disappointed that she doesn't have it. And so Din comes to visit and says to her that he's going to Mandalore to, the living waters. And she says, well, go ahead. I don't, what do you want me to do? Hey, all right. You got the saber.
Q&A.
Yes, Q&A.
Okay, Alex, it's interesting how Bo-Katan criticizes Mando for following ancient rules, but she also follows the ancient code of needing to take the Darksaber in battle.
Yeah, it's you're right. I mean, the word she used, faction of the Mandalore. So Mandalore is split. Like the people, they're here. They're following this code, and they're over here. They're following another code.
Yeah,
but you're still following a code regardless, right? So, yeah, it's I don't know. It's these rules. Like Jedi have their own rules. The Mandalorians have their own rules. It's either okay, you follow it, or you change the rules, and or you create your own rules. But you really have to find a way to just bring people together, right? They're split right now, so it's a bad thing.
People are divided.
Yeah, they're very divided. There's got to be a common ground. They have to find a way to bring these people together. I don't know what the answer is, but I think these codes are really hurting them more than helping. So we'll see. All right. So that's how the episode ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about episode 1?
No.
Okay. All right. So again, episode 2. It was. Can't say too much about it, but
It was great.
you won't be disappointed, and we can't wait to talk to you about it next week. So we will be back next week to talk about episode 2. All right.
Back tomorrow for the Bad Batch.
All right. So now our Bad Batch wrap ups or reviews are going to be on Thursday, starting tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow to talk about the Bad Batch. All right. So hopefully you'll see it and jump on the live stream. We'll talk about it and chat about it, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you. All right, Keith, where can people find us?
So you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, ... wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers of Galaxy. Our website is fathersofgalaxy.com, and our merch store is fathersofgalaxy.myspreadshop.com.
All right.
And check out our speaker page as well.
All right.
We still have that?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still Spreaker's still here. Okay. All right, cool. So this is great. All right. So let's get some rest. So let's go.
Boy.
Let's go. So
Mr.
we had
3:30 Uber 6 o'clock flight.
We had 3 long days. Okay. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us. Do we have something else? Alex, take care and have a great day, guys. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Can I go to sleep now?
Yes.
Fall out of my chair.
Yeah, we're always glad to have you on the podcast. So continue to check in and let's talk. All right. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow when we talk about the Bad Batch episode 11. I think we're on 11 now. So until Metamorphosis. All right. That's a good episode actually. So there's going to be quite a few things to talk about on that one. All right then, everyone. So until tomorrow, take care and we will see you again.